to take them on.
That might just be the difference.
Could that, is that a big difference as a in a big game to have bowlers of the experience of Johnson versus the inexperience of a Umesh Yadav, to have bowlers who bowl regularly 145 plus, does it make a huge difference in a match like this?
Absolutely. If you've got someone who can bowl 145 plus, hard, on a length straight, not giving you any width, and bowl a Yorker and a bouncer, batting's much more difficult. Every ball is an event. It's not as if there's a little part-timer coming on. You can just keep knocking him down the ground, and then when the time's right, you can bomb him out of the park. It's much more difficult, and it's a much more intense situation. And he can bowl you out any ball.
The word that Andrew used there, intense, the intensity with which the Australians play the game. There's a sense that the Australians and the New Zealanders are taking one-day cricket to another level. One-day skills, the McCullums and the Maxwells when it comes to hitting, the Starks and the Bolts when it comes to sort of playing, being wicket-taking bowlers. It's not about containment. It's about getting wickets.
And I think it's more become the power. If you talk about ever since this fifth fielder in the 30-yard circle, it's become more power. It's skills there. When you speak about intense, I'm sure the intensity with Shami, Umesh Yadav, Mohit Sharma would have been fantastic. But at the end of the day, you need to have that sort of skill to back it as well. When you
say skill, you're using the word power. I'm just worried whether cricket will one day, if these rules continue, go down the way of hockey.
You look at the number of 200s that are being scored now. Ever since this fifth fielder rule has come in, you're using 2 cricket balls. It stays hard. It doesn't get older than 25 overs. Life is getting more and more difficult for a quick bowler. Mohit Sharma, Rajdeep bowling a short pitch stuff, chest high at about 135, 138 clicks. Stark bowling a short pitch delivery, shoulder height at 147, 148
Makes a huge difference.
Big difference.
Okay, let's just for a moment. Andrew's not alone in celebrating because our correspondent Smita Sharma is at the Australian High Commission. Smita, I presume that you're surrounded by Indians more than Australians, but I see lots of yellow around there now. So obviously a day of celebration for the Australians that you're surrounded with. You've chosen the right place to be at.
Well, Rajdeep, when we came in here first, of course, the Indians had outnumbered the Aussies, but no sooner than we did lose the game, that the Indians actually left in a hurry. So I'm actually surrounded by the yellow jerseys here, except for this one Australian. In fact, the Indian, who is in the Australian High Commission. But Vartika, to begin with you, because you are outnumbered here, you really looked heartbroken. Were you expecting Dhoni to perform some sort of a miracle through those last overs?
I think yes, till the end I wanted India to win. But I would just say this thing that 2011, we beat Australia in the quarterfinals. This was their turn this time. 2019 we're coming back and we'll teach them a lesson again.
That's rather benevolent of us. But tell me, what did you think that 328, when he put out that score, that itself was a strong enough sign? Or Indians are, known to be good chasers, so you really thought that was going to be a very difficult match?
No, I was worried. I thought 328 might just be enough, but I thought it was going to be very, very, very tight. We've seen Virat Kohli, chase down 360 without breaking a sweat last time we were here in India. So we know that the Indians are exceptionally good chasers, and with Dhoni and with Kohli and Rahane, all that talent, when they're so unbelievably talented, you can never feel safe with any total.
But the way Virat Kohli, in fact, went in early into the game, he was dismissed off early into the game, it broke so many Indian hearts. But were you surprised too?
I was quite surprised. I think they had the game for the winning. He went for it quite early. I think maybe just that little lapse of concentration, and there's so much pressure. I mean, most of the crowd in Australia looked to be Indians, so he had almost a home crowd to play in front of, and I'm sure the pressure told on him. So understandable on that.
When the Indian side was batting, when the Australian side was batting, of course, the pitch didn't look bowler-friendly at all. But when the Indians went into bat, you saw the Australian bowlers, of course, perform out there. What was it? Was it they performing to their strength, or the Indian batting order somehow falling down in succession that helped you guys?
Oh, look, I think we have to focus on being very gracious winners, but it was a valiant effort by the batsmen. Unfortunately, there was a bit of a collapse. Can we call it a collapse? A bit of a collapse.
Right.
But it was a valiant effort.
Just last 2 quick reactions.
No, I just want to know, how are they going to celebrate? I want to know, how are the Australians that you're with going to celebrate? How do Australians celebrate a World Cup semi-final win over India? Forget the cricket for a moment. Let's talk celebration.
There was just so much of dancing around here, cheering around here, Rajdeep, and I must say the Indian camp was so defiant till the very last ball. They actually kept on hoping for some miracle. What celebrations are planned in now? And we also know the big game coming up now on Sunday.
Yeah, there will be a great big game here on Sunday against New Zealand. So hopefully Australia will be able to, win again and take it to the New Zealanders because we always have a bit of a great competition with the New Zealanders. So it should be a good friendly match across the ditch, as we say in Australia. So there are plans for a party, I think, later on with some
tonight as well.
I think there will be after this great win. It's
with the shoe on his head, he'll be pretty drunk in about an hour's time.
The office hours have ended as well, so I'm sure there were a lot of the waves that you were generating, in fact, when the match was on. Would you like to repeat that one for us, before the celebration?
One more time, right? Are we ready? Ready? Chalo Aussie, let's go. Hey!
So they are in that hey mood, Rajdeep, and Indians, of course, in that oh mood for today.
And the great thing is for them, Australia versus New Zealand is a bit like India versus Pakistan. It's going to be the big brother versus the small brother across the Tasman, and we'll see how that goes. But Smita Sharma joining. Look, Andrew, you're not alone. You're not alone. You want to show me that dance that they did?
No.
What is that dance?
I don't know
What
that
is that dance?
I didn't learn that one when I was at school.
Yeah, you didn't learn that. Okay. But Andrew, it is for the Australians to win in front of their home crowd special. I mean, just as India found it difficult to win sometimes in home conditions, there is pressure. But the Australians have soaked it in very, very well. Your old pal, Darren Lehman, seems to have done a great job in just soaking in the pressure for the team.
Yeah, that sort of pressure, finals pressure, can be quite exhausting mentally. Some days you walk off the field after a game like that and you sit down and you mightn't have actually done a great deal individually, but just the whole build-up to the game, the couple of days before, the actual morning, thinking about it, because you don't play till the afternoon. So, and then you come off and you sort of just collapse sometimes on your seat, just exhausted mentally and just relieved that it's actually got to that point. But,
There's a lot of beer that's going to be flowing today. I can see a lot of beer flowing today. Or are you going to wait till the final for the beer to really flow?
No, the coach, Buff, will let them have a few beers, but they won't get carried away because they play again on Sunday. Right. But you've got to enjoy the moment, they'll be in the dressing room now celebrating, probably have their families and kids in there, and they come in after the game, wives and girlfriends and that, and they'll be soaking it up and enjoying it. They might do a lap of the ground to thank the crowd and what have you. Yeah,
and before I take a break, Australia versus New Zealand, bit like India versus Pakistan, or not quite as intense?
Yeah, there's always that trans-Tasman rivalry. It's very fierce. Australia, when the Wallabies played the All Blacks, it's a very fierce competition, and the cricket's the same. They've always been very competitive. The Kiwis, especially their cricket team, haven't been necessarily highly skilled, but they're always very competitive. But now they've got both. They've got a very skillful team and a very competitive, passionate team too. So this mix is up for another very interesting game of cricket.
Let me take a break at this point. We'll talk about Australia and New Zealand. For now, we're going to focus very much on a dream that's gone sour. It's been a great dream, a great journey. Mahendra Singh Dhoni has won, 16 matches in World Cup and Champions Trophy in a row. But like every journey, this journey must come to an end. And as I told you, my sources in the Indian cricket team are telling me that Dhoni will probably announce his retirement. If not tonight, then when he returns back to India. You won't see Mahendra Singh Dhoni play one-day internationals again for the country. Let's take a break. Come back with more. We'll take all your reactions. You can always call in, tell us what you think. Plenty more up ahead. The cup that matters, I'm afraid, is not coming home. Back in a moment.